Hey guys, Paul McClain here. Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Podcast. And hey, excited you joined today. And every week, I try to do my best to provide as much value as possible to you where you can go out and make this week better than last week. And I promise you guys, I got no doubt that that's what's going to take place today as I got my buddy Gage on. Gage, how you doing, brother?
Doing great, man.
Good to have you on, bro.
Yeah, this office facility is amazing, man. It really set the bar for what's possible, and it's exciting to see where you can take this thing.
You know, the crazy thing, Gage, is I think if you would have went to the first one, you'd have been more impacted. See, this will inspire you, but this is like 14 years of freaking working 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, and no shows and no sales. But the first one, and we had this one for a long time, you know, me and Andrew would make you sign a waiver when you came in because if you bumped a wall, you might get hit. You know? It did not look like this, bro. In fact, the first one, you walk into, I remember Andrew had his home office, no carpet in his house, right? He had Linda, that was one of his assistants, and she was working on the living room couch, which the couch was one of those ones that like was bent in, you know, it's like
used.
It was used. He definitely like grabbed it off, you know, for free on the side of the street. And it was like a prison cell, man, no carpet. And dude, my first office, this is back with cordless phones. Andrew would listen to me in the other room on the cordless phone. That was our dial team. So I'd call on one. He's listening to the other one. And Andrew, dude, like he would forget to hit mute, and he can breathe. You know, you can hear him breathing.
Yeah.
And I'd get off like, dude, like Mary could hear you breathing, bro. Like that's why I didn't book the appointment. It wasn't the objection. She thought something weird was going on over here, you know. But dude, it's just crazy where it starts, and then if you just keep at it, man, like a lot of times you don't know where it's gonna take you. But definitely blessed to have this place. I know it kind of inspires, but dude, I'm telling you what, it's to see where we started, I think would be more impactful, and not just where we started. Man, we were there for a long time, dude. A decade we were in that same spot. So, but dude, it's good to have you on, man. You know, Gage, I remember I had you on a call a while back, and you talked about the team dynamic and your team and how it looks and some of the things that you put in place. And dude, it was articulated so well. And I think that this is such a big part of this. Like, you know, you've heard the statement, like you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I think that there's so much value in that, not by yourself, because dude, it could be lonely.
Super lonely.
Just driving, man, like bare knuckle, where you're holding the steering wheel, man, like many nights, you know.
Not knowing where it's gonna go either. You're just going to the next appointment. You're just driving. You're, you know, pushing day by day, like you said, having no idea that you would have a space like this. You were just pushing through the no shows, pushing through the no sales, and just keep driving forward. And it's crazy to see, because that's really, for me, I mean, honestly, from when I started, I didn't know where I was going to go with this. Like, I didn't get into this to grow a big agency. I didn't get into this to coach agents. I got into this for myself. But I think one thing that I did really well is I like being a part of a team. You know, I didn't play professional sports. I didn't go to college to play sports, but I just love the team aspect. And what being a teammate is cheering and helping anyway or whatever. Like, everyone has a different role. You know, there's role players, you know, everyone plays their different parts. But one thing that I really enjoyed was I got to be a part of this team. And back then, there was nobody in Dallas at that time that I knew a part of the team. So the only way I could be a part of the team was being involved in Slack, being involved in the Facebook group, being involved in the group chats, like being active.
Sure.
There's a lot of people that create these group chats, create these Slack channels, Facebook groups, and they're silent in it.
What does active look like for like a new person that's brand new agent? Like, how do they, because I agree with you so much. Like, your environment's going to dictate like how you think, act, and feel. It's such a big part of getting this thing going. You know, that's why I would drive 5 hours to Phoenix, Arizona when I got started, because that was the closest meeting that I could get that. And it wasn't, I guess I'm not a lot of things, but I was pretty self-aware. I just knew that I needed it, you know. But talk about like how does somebody actively, you know, plug in and utilize those things? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think the key thing is when people share things, like them, share, thanks for sharing, just communicate, I guess what is how you be active, you communicate. And I didn't want to be on this island because I was on an island. And that's how a lot of people feel in this business, is that they're on the island, but you're putting yourself on the island instead of being around the fire. And so I wanted to be around the fire. So I was just communicating in these group chats. I was communicating in Slack. I was communicating in the Facebook groups. And one thing that I really, really took that just hit home with me and ran with it was when Grady Paulson was like, when you bring value to the marketplace will bring you value. So when you put it in correlation to this, the marketplace is family first life. And the value that you can provide is your experience, really, and what you did to overcome something, what you did to, what you're going to do better. Don't make this mistake. So we had that Facebook group, and I just became active in it, man. I wanted people to know who I was. I didn't want to be a nobody.
Yeah.
I wanted people to know who Gage Peart was. So I put myself out there. Very vulnerable, right? A lot of us are afraid of what people think about us failing. People are afraid of what people think, how we look. Mm-hmm. And understanding, if you're just vulnerable in this business, people aren't going to judge you. People are actually going to relate with you.
Sure.
And that's what it really hit home with me, is I would see these posts and, man, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to say that next time. So I would, if I got an objection in the home and I overcame it, I would share exactly what I did. And instead of keeping it to myself and, saying I had these little sales secrets, I wanted to provide it to the world, the FFL world, right? And so if I had a horrible day, I wanted to create positivity out of my horrible day. Hey, 0 for 7 today, 4 no shows, 2 no sales. 1 just was going to tell me no anyways. But tomorrow I got 6 more appointments. Can't wait. And
that's so good, dude. You're like declaring positivity. It's almost like this is something that I never really thought about, Gage, but everybody can do this. And this could shift and shape the way you see yourself and the outlook you have, as far as being positive or negative. Like, I know for myself, when I had an agent with me, or even dialing, like the things I know I needed to do, I was more likely to do them, because like we all have the temptation to do what we feel like doing. Like, I remember going on an appointment and having an agent with me, and I had crushed it for the day. And my last appointment was like an hour away. I was an hour behind. I was gonna get there at 9. My last one was at 8. And I just think, like, maybe if he wasn't there, I'd just been like, dude, I'll just reschedule for now. I mean, I already helped 10 families today, dude. Like, but he was there, and I thought, like, I can't set that example, right? It's like I stopped doing stupid things when I started having a bunch of kids, right? But I think when you do that, man, like, you're publicly declaring like the right response, because you're not gonna get on and say like something, dumb about it. You're saying like, this is what happened, but the numbers are numbers. We're gonna bounce back. Can't wait to see what tomorrow has to offer.
And to be honest with you, Paul, a lot of the times it was me getting out of my own negative way. If I would say it publicly, then I had to believe it and do it, right? It's
so
like
good, dude.
Holding yourself accountable. So like when I was in, a bad mindset or just thinking negatively, I wanted to spin it positively some way, shape, or form. The last appointment thing was always crucial. I'd always promote that. A horrible day, been out since 9 a.m., been driving around, door knocking, hit 4 doors, but this last door that I knocked on let me come in, sat down, protected 2 families. Whatever way, shape, or form, I could always try to spin some type of positivity out there into the world. I knew that if I did that, over time, good things would start to happen.
Sure.
And what I seen is people started to gravitate towards me, whether it was Family First Life agents or just people out in the, watching YouTube or seeing me on Facebook. Hey man, you're really inspiring. Like, I appreciate that. And we all love to get praise, right? And so I wanted to always be at top of the leaderboards. And so I knew that the more I shared, the more I could get to the top, to that leaderboard. Like I was just trying to counter in anything possibly to put my name out there, to hold myself accountable and keep going in the right direction, honestly. And I share that with all you guys today because you can all do that.
Sure.
I get a lot of people, Paul, that ask me now, 2.5 years later, like, man, your guys' team culture is great. Or, I love the way your guys' team operates. And it started with me being a good teammate. and wearing legacy protectors on my back like it was my last name, because I had a goal that if I helped Jordan get to his goals, he would help me get to my goals. And so I wore that name, and I wanted everyone in the company to know who we were. Because when I got started, Jordan was at like 50,000 a month. Now we know where he's at, you know, a couple of million a month. And that was the vision he was sharing with us. And I believed in him so much because he believed in me before I believed in myself. And there's a lot of you who got brought into this business because someone believed in you that you could do this business as well. So if you know that they're thinking that way, you just have to trust them. You have to believe that what he's sharing about this opportunity is real. And I didn't know what the heck life insurance was. I didn't know what Family First Life was before I got here. But the way Jordan spoke about the opportunity, I knew I wanted to follow him.
That's good.
That energy. And so if you're a part of a group where you see that energy, like follow that guy. Like you want to go to the next levels of this business. And then all of a sudden, you know, like I was telling you, people were gravitating towards me. I was helping train people when I had no agents. I went 7 months without having an agent in this business. But I spent many different times coaching up other people's agents because I use it as an opportunity to become a better trainer.
Yeah.
I use it as an opportunity to become a better leader. So then someday when I did have agents, I could help them overcome their mental barriers or whatever that they're kind of putting in their head. And looking back at it, everyone can do that. And if you're a part of a Slack group or wherever you guys, you know, post your results at, it's really weird to me that we have, you know, hundreds of people in these groups, but then there'll be 4 responses or two fire emojis. When we all know the effort and the grit that it takes to a lot of times help a family, you know, whether it's a small policy, a medium-sized policy, a big-sized policy, there was effort that was put behind that.
Right.
And so for me, it's really weird to not cheer that person on because I know what it took to help that family. And they're looking for the recognition, you know, they're looking for someone to love on them for the effort that they put in. And then people don't get that love. And then they just start spinning the wheels and then they're not in the business 60 or 90 days later. But if we were just good teammates in our groups, people would feel the love. I can go to my Slack channel now and there's 10 replies minimum. Good job, good work, boom, awesome job, way to overcome it. And then I was real big on if you overcame something or if you have a story behind tell the story. 732 Americo Eagle, that doesn't help anybody. 732 Americo Eagle, and then a story behind they porched me, I knocked on the door for 5 minutes, sat down with them, or they gave me this objection, I told them this, like provide value with your results.
It's good, dude.
And then you help the world that you're a part of. And anyone can do that, Paul. And I think it starts with yourself. You don't need any agents to start the culture that you want to cultivate within your organization. It starts with you and being a good teammate.
That's so good, man.